pretty much got all the four-wheelers now back in stock. That's the injection moulded, CW, LV, K-Wagon, KF. We're working on still the TRC. It's getting pretty close to having a pilot on that. I still plan to do the FS and BS. We just had
tutorial. All right, I'm really going to be focusing on more and what it can be done. I will be going through some of the steps, but hopefully just to sort of help explain it. What it is, what can you do with computers? There's three major areas I'll be covering: design, simulation, and automation of physical labour. Why would you want to do it? And I can understand some of you will probably not agree with the reasons that I give, but anyway, the reasons why I got into it, and a bit of a how. Not so much detail, but just sort of how to, as an explanation of getting to the end point. And I will admit, my background is in IT, in computers, so that obviously helps me a lot. Doesn't help me in other areas of the model of the hobby. So for those who are not at all, been involved in computers, you may find some of this, a little bit difficult. And then I started to sort of realise, well, there are actually programs where you can automate running of trains, complex schedules and multiple trains and so forth. And all this from a large library, you can pick a lot of rolling stock. Now, this is European-based program, so it is all basically European rolling stock, and you'll see a bit of that in a moment. However, I don't think that detracts from the fact that you can still see how the trains interact and so forth. And very good facility for drawing rich structured scenery, both in terms of landscapes and structures and so forth.
I've known this man for about 12, maybe 15 years, I suppose, maybe even a little bit longer than that. He's an outstanding modeller, probably one of the best we have. He's a generous man with his time and his work. He shares his work through the pages of Seventh Heaven, and I know everybody that knows him considers him an outstanding individual to know, and a personality that is worth knowing, but a true gentleman. But I'm going to announce the award for 2017 for the Aus7 Modellers Group Award for outstanding contribution to the promotion of Australian no-scale modelling goes this year to Roger Porter.
Yeah.
We've got a seat for you there because we're going to embarrass you with a few words. So congratulations, mate. I can't think of anybody who's a more deserving recipient of the award. So congratulations. Okay. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Roger has been a mentor because there are so many things I can do now and I feel comfortable in doing that I wasn't before Roger built. And we wrote an article about it for Seventh Heaven. Some of the buildings Roger's constructed. There was a lot of plans.
Very different methods. One is the material, which is card, and the other is timber. Okay, so this is a map. This is a map of the. Okay. This area, the whole area here is rich in coal mines, rich in coal. There's a lot of coal still left there. Killingsworth here. That's where I actually used to work. I worked 36 years in the coal mining industry. Here's an older map of the area. Shows called. This was the main road. The main road used to come around from Spears Point along Lake Macquarie to Spears Point, and from then it took a right-hand turn and went up to Bullaroo. That's the main road running up through there. The location of this service station is right here where that black dot is, right there on the corner there. So further on you can see the line into mounting board was used for the walls of the main building. The measurements were transferred from the plan to the board. The roof trusses were constructed out of coffee stirrers. You can buy coffee stirrers for, $1,000. The roof sheet. This is the third attempt at trying to achieve the look of an asbestos roof.
And the reason I agreed to do these talks is not so much because not just because we're always looking for talks. It's more that you don't get the context. And for me, it's about motivation and thinking why I do the things I do and the way I do them. And for me, that's always important. I like to hear not just what you're doing, but also the way you do it and why you do it. That sort of motivation stuff. I mean, I have a new. So to give you a context, I have a new layout room at the top of a double-storey shed on my new property, and I've had it for. It's probably about 8 months now, 6, 7, 8 months, something like that. And I've had it lined and I'm building a layout in it. Put some track down and decided to test some curves. As far as I'm aware, we tested everything that's ever come onto the market except for a Garrett in the 50 mm. We wanted to test the locos on a set of successively smaller curves. We started at 2.1 metres, which is 7 foot, and went down to 1.2 metres at 300 millimetre increments. So that was 7 foot, 6 foot, 5 foot, 4 foot. I wanted to record systematically whether any of these locomotives had modifications or alterations that might have affected the performance through a set of those standardised curves. So I took note of what it was, so we did each one in sequence. I had a list. So I wanted to know just the curve. I didn't need a spiral easement. It's very easy to add spiral easements if you want to use them, or you are going to use them, and they're a very good idea, but I didn't need to do that. I needed to know what radius curve the locos would go through. But as you can see from Morpeth, let me see, Morpeth's backdrop is a lot lower than I'd like it to be. I mean, I'd love it up here, and I'd love it to curve over, but I don't have the space. And that is a 45-degree angle. Alright, so lighting. Lighting's a bit of a thing for me, and I'm in the middle of it, which is why it's in the presentation. Now, while Morpeth has its own dedicated lighting rig, which you saw in the photo a minute ago, and Queen's Wharf and any other part of the layout, needed room lighting. Now, in my opinion, the last photo clearly demonstrates that relying on room lighting is inadequate. So if you compare those two, all right, what provides the best layout lighting? Now, there's no single answer, obviously, and I know we've heard the Prof talk about different lights, and the strips and other speakers talk about different lighting and stuff like that. There's all different options. There's no ideal one answer to that, but I find my preference is for Morpeth, and it's sort of what I'd like in the rest of the layout if I could afford it or get it in, is 2 warm down lights combined with 2 cool white fluoros every 2 metres. That's what I put on Morpeth, and it's bright and I can see everything. Anything less than that, I can't see anything. Now, a lot of people say don't overlight your layout, but I'm sorry, my eyes are terrible and they're not getting any better. So I like a lot of light. I get my inspiration for lighting from my layouts from diverse sources, but it all started as a kid at the Australian War Memorial. That's what I put on.
Just a couple of comments. The things I'm going to talk about, what's new in 2017, the things that are new to me in some cases they're not so new. They may be not always new to you. They don't necessarily express the opinion of the entire group. They're things that have interested me and I thought they may well be of interest to you.